Upon Yahweh, first and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect and the sincere Akim, pushing this word, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. This Gms Plaintables camp, located here in the city of Philadelphia, back out here another week to prophesy the downfall of this abominable and wicked kingdom, and to help wake the elect up who have been scattered through the four corners of the earth, mainly here in the Americas, who are the so-called blacks, the Latinos and the Native Americans, and the speckled birds that reside in other nations, that look like other nations, but come from the seed of Jacob. To you we say Shalom. And also a hearty Shalom to 144,000, the elect men of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, who have been slated to be the next judges and rulers when Yahweh Shah return to establish his throne on earth. Shalom to you, brothers. Listen, we in the hopeful year of our deliverance, in the judgment and destruction of our wicked twin brother Esau, Edom, who have been given free reign to basically go around the earth and take what don't belong to him. But the scriptures talk about, in Genesis the 25th chapter, it talk about how he was given the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, and he was ruled by the sword. And no man in the history of mankind has stolen more valuables than Esau, Edom. So basically, we're waiting for Yahweh Shah, who is the only power that's going to return and dethrone him. Anybody got some precepts?
I got something.
Go ahead, bring it out.
It says Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Yeah, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. So Esau, Edom think he's got the free reign to work iniquity and basically still kill and destroy, but he don't. Destruction unto you. You just ain't gonna get it right now, but it's coming. And we here to tell you about your judgment. The rest of these churches, Islam and Christianity and Buddha, they not reading you your judgment. The men of the Lord, the ones who the Lord revealed his secrets to. We out here telling you what your judgment is going to be for working iniquity and basically destroying the people and polluting the world. Because if it wasn't for you, this world would be a better place. You see, you can say as the ruler, so are the people. You say as the officer, so are the soldiers. So you the reason why the world is in a condition that it's in. Read.
It says Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity or work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand.
The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Job 9:24. Somebody, Brother Shaw. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That's the reason why he's able to exercise his ill intentions, man.
Yeah, by on their beds, it means they're in their kingdom, they're in their rest. You know? So they're able to, the scriptures talk about this man's heart is deep. He searcheth out iniquity. So he deliberately, is adverse to prophecy, to the Israelites, to the Most High. That's why he operates the way that he does. His MO is to be in total opposition. Hence being the wicked. He was set up as that entity, as that spirit to be in opposition to everything that is right. That's why the scriptures talk about, can an Ethiopian change his spots, right? Or an Ethiopian to skin the leopard spots? Then he that is accustomed to do evil, right? This man is accustomed to do evil. It's literally within his nature. He's actually not content until he fulfill wickedness.
Somebody get the
especially these elites, okay? Esau in a general sense, but primarily those that are sitting at the top. Your Rothschilds, your Rockefellers, your banking elite.
Get that wicked screens at the room, speaking lies.
They're the ones that are able to fund,
I think 3.
These different policies that get passed, wars, etc. And that's what's really causing all this destabilization all over the world. His policy, right? Through his military and through his economics, all right? He's destroying everything.
Got that?
Yes. So it says Psalm 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
The question is, who are the wicked? See, the wicked, the scriptures talk about who the wicked is. Esau, Edom. He is the wicked. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies, man. So he's inside his mother's womb, conjuring up thoughts of what he gonna do when he get into the world, man. That's the only thing he worrying about is establishing wickedness on the face of the earth, man. He is adverse to these scriptures. Although he know him, he know what he's supposed to do. That's Jacob's brother. Isaac was his father.
Yeah,
so
well, I got that prophecy.
Go ahead.
Let me read it. Because everything that we're seeing Esau fulfill today goes back to the Holy Scriptures. All right, it's a fulfillment of prophecy. This is Genesis 27, verse 38. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. Now the reason why Esau is distraught is because Yaakov, or Jacob, his brother, had supplanted his father before to essentially receive the blessing, the birthright. Well, no, he had already gotten the birthright because Esau gave it up for raw pottage or raw meat, uncooked meat. Okay? And that's an example of the character of Esau right there. He couldn't wait just a little bit longer for the food to be done. He had to have it right then and there, to the point where he was acting like he was going to die. Okay? You know? Anyway, so this is the part where Jacob had already received the blessing, all right, which was all set up in the spirit to happen this way. Because Esau wasn't meant to receive the ultimate blessings, okay, that the Lord had already set up in the spirit before the foundation of the world began to come upon his people, the Israelites. All right, so it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Okay, so he was very bitter. He was sore. Okay? And the thing of it is the Heavenly Father, he's all about balance. Okay? That's the dynamic of Yahweh Shemel Shai. He's all about balance. So he indeed is about to receive a blessing. So it reads, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above, and by the sword thou shalt live. So in other words, the way he was going to inherit all the different plentiful lands, resources, and attain to power was going to be through cruelty, violence, the power of the sword. This is why he had been given the technology of the gun, inevitably the missile through the Germans. This is why they've been given these technologies to govern and rule the earth in this time, because that was the blessing that was essentially given to him by his father in the spirit. You are going to be able to enjoy the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven and all the pleasant things, and you will have power over the earth. Brother keeps quoting Job 9:24, but it's going to be by these means. It's not going to be by righteousness. And it ain't even going to be forever. Because you got to think about it. The nations have drank of this man's wine, and the nations are what? Mad. Okay? Not in an angry sense, but they themselves are victims and subject to this man's cruelty. All right? But they're also on that wine themselves. So there has to be a correction. How can a man who rules in wickedness and by violence and by thievery continue to rule? It's never happened before in history where their kingdom continued on, all right, forever. Inevitably, it fell, right? So this man is no exception. It says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. You know? So we're seeing that in these times come to fruition. Okay? Where Esau's ruling by the power of the sword. Okay? Now his sword is his military, it's his weaponry, but it's also his technology. Okay? AI systems, the sea hip, all of these things were essentially given to this man so he could rule in this time on the left-hand side, so you can understand. I mean, doing the bidding of his spiritual father, Satan. Because Esau, so-called white man, is the physical counterpart to the spiritual demon Satan.
We go back to Psalms.
Gone. So it says Psalm 53, that's like it. Psalm 58 and 3, it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
And we the counterpart to Esau, Edom. We the truth tellers. Somebody get me Psalms. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? I think it's 94 and 16, or 96 and I think it's 94.
To really get that, please, Barack.
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? We the counterpart to the wicked man on the earth. We the righteous. You see, when you look up that word for plain, when it describes Jacob, it say morally perfect.
Yep.
So we are the men that's going to come out here and tell you what Esau's intentions are and when he's going to be judged. Because we hate wickedness. We morally perfect, man. Upright. Go ahead.
Yo, this is the book of Psalms 94 and 16.
Yeah.
It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers?
Yeah.
Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, and who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? The men of the Lord. We ain't talking about with swords and guns, because the scriptures talk about wait ye upon me till I rise up against the prey.
Right. For and vengeance belongs unto the Most High. It's written.
And the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. We got these scriptures, and we got truth on our side. And we also got the angels of Yahweh Shemel Shah protecting us. So that's why he can't come out here and basically pummel us to death, because we got angels protecting us. But any other people that basically speak out against what Esau, Edom doing, he throw them in prison. He blow their brains out in front of the world. Look at JFK.
Well, I was watching that documentary just last night by Linda Thompson called America Under Siege. And she was going into the accounts of how oftentimes what happens when people speaking out against the government, what do? They send out agents after you. Okay? They send out agents. Whether it's the black helicopters, right? Or they off you, you know? She was going into the different accounts, which is what they want to do to the average citizen anyways. They don't want no opposition. Okay? But we're their biggest threat. And don't make no mistake about it. Remember, Elder Apostle Tahar gave us the
2026.
Yeah, the 2026 basically. You know, the spirit for next year is the agents,
the apostates,
the agents,
sellouts revealed.
Sellouts, right? So we know that there are among us agents trying to infiltrate. You know, we're privy to that. But everybody got to play their part. Everybody got to play their role. But you're not going to overthrow what the Most High set up. That's the thing.
No.
At least ye be happily to fight against the Most High, because that's who you really fight against.
Yeah.
You looking at us like, you know, but you really trying to fight against the Most High, which it's a losing battle. You know?
Read that again, bro. Baba Gashar.
Yeah, come. This is the book of Psalms 94 and 16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?
It sounds like a job wanted sign. That's hung up out here for any able-bodied man from these 12 tribe signs to come over here and be on the side of the Lord and make your body a living sacrifice and speak out against the crimes against humanity, starting with the crimes against these men and women and children on the sign. Somebody got to be a voice, a reason for these people. Somebody got to stand up to this man spiritually and tell him his judgment. And there's a reward for that, because they talk about us striving for the masteries, running the race. Somebody get that? Running the race, one receive a prize. And what's that? Incorruptible crown that we fighting for, because it's a reward for making your body a living sacrifice. And it's not no petro dollar currency or no fiat currency. This is something. This say the scriptures talk about lay up treasures in heaven, where moth and rust doeth not corrupt, but lay up treasures do not lay up treasures on earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt. But lay up treasures in heaven, where moth and rust doeth not corrupt. And how you do that? You got to do this work. You got to rise up against the evildoers and stand up against the workers of iniquity by making your body a living sacrifice, man. Read. I think it's Corinthians, the 4th chapter or the 9th.
9th chapter?
Yeah. Running the race, man. It's the race we running. Go ahead.
This 1 Corinthians 9 to 24, it says, know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain.
Yeah, because we all out here running the race. We running the race for the Lord to receive the incorruptible crown. But then you got these men, women out here at these regular jobs playing basketball, football for that corruptible crown. But we running this race for the incorruptible crown. Something you can't see, taste, or feel, and you gotta have faith to want to follow it or want to chase it. You know, the faith is a gift. It's not given to 2/3 of our people. So this is a beautiful thing to make your body a living sacrifice, because that reward is coming. It's gonna be greater than anything that you can imagine. Read.
I got a precept too.
Right, and it basically the race is more like a marathon than a sprint. You got to pace yourself, you know, so you actually can finish. Because in this marathon, there's plenty of obstacles, there's hurdles, and then you got to have the stamina and endurance to complete it. Okay.
And we ain't never alone. We may be by ourselves running a race, but we got Paul to talk to, we got Timothy to talk to, we got Ezekiel to talk to. So we meditate on these scriptures while we running this race, and guess what? It gives us the fuel to continue on. While the rest of the world, they don't have these scriptures to think about, to charge them up. They thinking about bags of money. We have spiritual energy, because this elevates. It said the flesh profiteth nothing. The spirit quickeneth, but the flesh profiteth nothing. These words mean a lot. Because when you read Psalms, the 1st chapter, it said, "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. He should be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, which bringeth forth fruit in his season." So men of the Lord are like a tree planted by the river, with the roots is going down to the water and constantly being nourished. And that's what the word do for the men of the Lord. That's why we don't grow weary out here. We may stumble, we may fall, but this word gonna always pick us back up. Read.
Yep. 1 Corinthians 9:25, it says, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things."
Every man that strives for the mastery is temperate in all things, man. You gotta know how to abound and how to abase. You gotta know how to be moderate. You don't want too much and you don't want too little.
Self-control.
Yeah. But
Yep. 1 Corinthians 9:25, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible."
yeah, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, all those rewards and trophies and money that they got, it said riches profit nothing in their destruction. You're not going to be able to take it with you when the Lord cracked the clouds to basically hand out judgment to our people and to the rest of the nations. Read.
Yep. Verse 26. "I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air."
Yeah, that's not, we not running, we not practicing out here. We not beating at the air. We actually fighting demons and spirits.
Right.
We not, this ain't no shadow box game right here. And every punch we throw means something. Because it be knocking the demons out. When demons attacking us, we call on Yahweh Shemi, and he gonna aid us. I witnessed it. I experienced it. So we not beating at the air.
Yeah, that's why you gotta formulate good intention and purpose, and that's how you move. You gotta be calculated. This whole thing is about strategy, spiritual strategy.
Like Jake Paul, he fights people that he know he can beat.
Yeah.
But then every once in a while, but every once in a while, you know, he'll take an actual fight, like he took last night. He got his jaw broken.
But they both got paid.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Strategy, yeah.
Do that strategy on the left-hand side.
Got a precept.
And what's the strategy? Being obedient to the word of the Heavenly Father. That's the strategy. But you got to formulate that intention. All right? You got to cultivate that, you know? Because what does it really mean to be temperate? You got to be able to develop that. When you come into the truth, right, you got to build yourself up in these different characteristic traits that enables you to remain acceptable and profitable in the ministry. Okay? Because there's charity, all right? There's building yourself up in the knowledge. There's prudence, the scriptures talk about. Okay? So on and so forth. And all that, like the brother said, that's fuel to allow you to continue in the race in the hopes that you'll cross that finish line. What's the finish line? Metaphorically, that's us being delivered from the destruction. being totally cleansed, receiving new bodies, putting on immortality. That's the finish line. Receiving crowns by Yahweh Shai, literally putting crowns on each one of our heads. Lord's will, we're those men. Right? Being able to have the first pick of everything.
All things.
Yeah, of all things.
All
once
design.
this place goes down. Now what glory on this side can possibly compare with that?
None.
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, this is going into what the brother was going into, the spiritual battle. This is Ephesians 6:12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places."
Yeah, because if you saw that movie's Fallen with Denzel Washington in there, the spiritual demon Satan got the power to jump on these people and make them say things and do things. And we understand that. So it is not necessarily the person that hates you, it's just the demon that jumped on him at the time to make him basically vex you.
Yeah, well, we have Job as the example.
Yeah. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's a spiritual war. And we aware of it. That's what separates us from the rest of the people out here.
Yeah, the Lord uses the spiritual demon Satan and his counterparts to test you. Everything that you go through that brings you stress, anxiety, worry, or just an inconvenience or some sort of grievousness, it's the spiritual demon Satan trying to get into your mind, throw you off your center, make you weak, try to overthrow your faith. The whole objective of the spiritual demon Satan is to try to get you to be overthrown and get you to lose faith. That is why the scriptures talk about when the demon leaveth the man, right? But he cometh back to find the house basically empty. The demon comes back, and then 7 more demons, more wicked than himself, enter. Okay, because that man lost faith. And when you lose your faith, you have no power to fight against the spiritual demon Satan, no power to resist the demons.
And we're not exempt from demons jumping on us. That's why the scriptures say, examine yourself whether you be in the faith.
Yeah, we gotta rebuke demons off of us all the damn time.
Exactly.
And when you're not awake and you're asleep, you gotta rebuke demons in your sleep. Or you gotta rebuke demons in sleep paralysis. You know? Either one. Rebuking demons all the time. Evil thoughts, you know? Avoid getting into altercations with these people doing dumb shit. You know? Gotta move wise. Because there's always something there trying to get you caught up. You know? That's why the scriptures talk about being slow to wrath.
Yeah.
You know? And having rule over your own spirit. Because if you use wisdom, like let's say, you know, a police officer pulls you over, you're not gonna escalate the situation. You know he's a fucking demon. You know he's fucking extracting money from for the state. You know, we know all that. But an unlearned individual, we're gonna have an argument, or you know,
Report everything. Y'all gotta
get into a back and forth.
y'all gotta argue.
When all you gotta do is give a soft answer, which is gonna turn away the wrath, and the dude might let you go.
Yeah. Don't expect that.
Hey, pray for it.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to expect
Deliverance.
it. The point is you can't necessarily expect it all the time, but when you apply wisdom, you better your odds. That's the point. That's hands down a fact. When you use the wisdom we've been given, you better your odds. At the end of the day, the conclusion is ultimately up to the Most High. You know? But you got individuals that will sit there, have a whole argument, before you know it, you get 3 fucking tickets. Because you're being an idiot. That's an individual who has no rule over his own spirit. He's too quick to wrath.
You know, because you're in a prostrated condition. So unless you're like, you do this for fun, you have people that actually do that for a living. You know, if we're regular people in that sense. So we don't go into court and argue for a living. Now, if we did, then we would, you know, we would do that, but we don't. We're just normal. Well, we're not normal, but in the sense of a traffic stop, we're normal men. In the sense of a traffic stop.
And those people lose a lot, you know, even though they might.
You gotta sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's a lifestyle. You gotta be all into that. You know, if you want to do that, that's a lifestyle, and you gotta have people support you.
Oh, you definitely.
You gotta have support from the so-called community.
Look, I can give a testimony.
You're not gonna survive if you don't get support from the community.
I'll give you a testimony. I'll never forget the one time I tried to go to traffic court and fight a ticket, and I was trying to use all legal leverage I possibly could. I was there representing myself, obviously, and no matter what I challenged the court on, the judge and I straight up asked the judge, "Will I receive a fair trial?" He said yes. I asked him, "Am I allowed to officer 2 primary questions?" He said yes. I asked the officer questions based upon a particular process they're supposed to follow. If she didn't do that, then technically that's a reasonable doubt. They have to throw it out, even in traffic court. He looked at the cop and said, "Don't answer that." So you can't win.
Yeah,
They set in the
pace.
If you could be able to record that.
And that's the thing. I had to, and if I wanted to record that, I had to hire. I forget the technical term for it. I think it starts with the O. But it's somebody that comes in and records all that stuff. But that would come out of my dime, because remember, even when you go to court, that's all money.
Subject to payment.
And if you didn't pay it up front, you pay it when you lose.
Yeah, payment. Yeah, subject to payment.
So I lost. So I said, okay, I see how this is going. And I smiled. I had a smirk on my face. I said, okay. I said, you know what, Your Honor? Just if I could just pay the ticket and be out of here, we could just end this now. He goes, oh, okay, not a problem at all. Just check with the officer, go to the front, they'll take care of you, and we'll be out of here.
Damn.
That's how quick his demeanor changes. But no matter what, I wanted to read from the Pennsylvania Constitution. He said, no, you can't do that. And I said, well, I thought you said I'm entitled to a fair trial. He says, you are, but you're not allowed to read.
Damn.
So you can't win.
Yeah.
You can't win.
Yeah.
Right.
So the only way for me to win was to pay.
He would have respected you more.
Right.
If you were an attorney, so it's all about respecting your persons. Get that precept.
Yeah.
Esau's a devil.
And I came prepared. I had a folder and everything. I came prepared that day. But I wanted the experience. I wanted the experience. And hey, the only way you getting off is if you show up and you were gonna really contest the ticket if they don't show up. And you just plead not guilty.
Mm-hmm. Or you have an attorney with you.
Well, yeah, depending on the charge, yeah. Of course.
They have respect for persons. That was illegal.
But traffic tickets are hard.
Yeah, you gotta.
They just want that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a court. You're supposed to be able to state your case, and Pennsylvania Constitution was relevant to the case. Yeah. And he said no, so that's illegal. I mean, like it was a woman that she was 500 pounds, and a Lyft driver, sound like a foreigner, said you can't get in. You can't get in, and you're not gonna be able to fit into the car. You know, as a professional driver, you should be able to look at somebody and say, well, you know, you probably can't fit. You know, but I would have personally tried to see if she could fit. But long story short, she ended up suing Lyft, and they settled. Lyft and the fat woman, the 500-pound woman, settled. And I mean, he didn't do a due diligence. You know, you did your due diligence. You know, you did your due diligence. He didn't do his due diligence. So,
yeah, the whole reason for reading the Pennsylvania Constitution is technically the police officer cannot be representing the state without the. There's a technical term, it is escaping me right now, but the only way they could be in that position there is if they're claiming legal damages or damage to property, because there's a difference between criminal code and the actual breaking of a law.
Right. You didn't commit a crime. Right?
Exactly. But they wouldn't let me go any further than I could. You know? So. But that's the devil for you. We know what we're up against.
And Satan, he's afraid too. I got wrote a ticket. A guy was handed to me. Was fucking shaking. 2 years ago. Damn, Edomite from somewhere in the mountains near Chambersburg. Was it Gettysburg? No, it was Gettysburg. Was it Gettysburg? Chambersburg. The damn devil was shaking me, handing me that ticket. You know? I knew I wasn't from the area. I was just going to pay the ticket. You know, he said, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for all of the money you're extracting from the people. extractor of gold. Esau, you're the devil, man.
And they're breaking their own laws.
Yep.
Because technically they do something called perjury. Because when you go and you fight the ticket, if you agree to a lesser fine, you have to agree to something that you didn't do.
Yeah.
So that's a legal workaround, but it's still illegal. If you lied, that's perjury.
Right.
If they say, all right, we'll say you didn't go through that stop sign, you disobeyed a traffic control device.
That's what I got a ticket for. Disobeying a traffic control device.
Yeah. So you're agreeing to something that you didn't technically do, but because it comes with a lesser penalty, but they still get their money.
Yeah, so I can just pay.
Everybody's happy, right? But that's still perjury. That's still perjury. So they're hypocrites.
So yeah, Esau the devil.
Oh, you don't want no points on your license? Okay, no problem. Walk into the room with me. Let's see what we can work out.
He looked like a good representative to the state, getting money to justify his paycheck and the fuel that he puts in his car every day. You fucking devil. This is why I'll never side with an Edomite. Esau, you're Satan. And you got a lot, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, you got a lot of Edomites that want black people to side with them against the so-called Jays. Fuck you. We're not siding with you against the so-called Jays. They're your brothers, man. Yeah. Oh, they don't consider themselves white. You dumbass. So that means they're not white. They think different, they're culturally different. Dude, we're not siding with you. And then as soon as you don't side with them, you're a monkey and an N-word. So why the fuck would we side with you? The so-called Jays, they at least don't openly be racist. You so-called regular white people, you're just openly racist. The so-called Jays at least hide it. You never hear a so-called Jay, except for a few exceptions, Michael Richards, say they use the N-word. You know, we know what it implies. You're implying that we're stupid, ignorant gorillas when you say the N-word. You know, and by the way, people get mad at people that say words all the time. It's not just the N-word. It's not a new phenomenon with the N-word. It's just people, when you say a certain word to people, they get mad. It's not unique to the monkeys. You know, apparently. But they try to frame it like, oh, you don't like the N-word, just a word. Motherfucker, people get mad at words all the time. You know? If you speak against the name of the Most High or Muhammad, don't something bad happen to you? Right? You speak, let's say about cursing the name. Give me a scripture about, he said he cursed. The Egyptian.
Yeah.
Had an Egyptian father, said he cursed. So people get smacked up for saying words all the time. But when it comes to N-words, right? You guys gotta grow up. You gotta be stop being so sensitive. But if someone would say something against the so-called Jays, someone would say something against the founding fathers or fondling fathers, then the words matter. But when it comes to the blacks, then a word shouldn't matter. It's less impactful, right? It's funny how Republicans are becoming victims now. People on the right. First it was the left. They're all fucking stupid and crazy. But it was the left people that were the victims. But now it seems like the Republicans are taking the same stance that the left did. Now they're victims. Now they can't say what they want to say. They're acting like fucking grown children now. You supposed to say something?
I was just gonna say I just looked up and I remembered the term was subject matter jurisdiction. My whole case was built upon the fact that there's no subject matter jurisdiction, meaning unless the officer is claiming damages, loss, life, or whatever, there's no reason for this to even be happening. But they wouldn't let me go any further. Couldn't read from the Pennsylvania Constitution.
What was the charge? What was the charge?
It was just a speeding ticket.
Speeding.
But I just wanted to go through the process. They wouldn't even let me, I think, read Supreme Court rulings.
Again, they that's favoritism. That's respect of the persons. You know, if attorney was in there, that's what the attorney would have did. The attorney would have argued case law.
Judge.
Yeah.
Obviously, he'll do it in the way that he will. You know, but he can object. Judge could tell me anything, and what am I going to do? Am I going to object to it?
You should be. I mean, you're representing us. You are the attorney.
Right.
You're in place of the attorney. But he has respect of a person. He's the fucking devil. I don't have to pass the bar license. That's not in the law. I gotta be a bar certified to tell the judge that he's to invoke case law or read the Constitution.
It was the officer, the judge versus
right.
me.
Again, that's illegal. The judge is not representing the judge is not representing the state. The judge is in between the state and the defendant.
Neutral.
Supposed to be, but we know it's not. Esau, you're the devil. Read the precept.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 17. You shall not respect persons in judgment.
That's exactly what he was doing. That's exactly what the judge was doing. So this is why Esau, Edom, this kingdom can't continue. It can't continue because they're just lawbreakers. All right? And look, they're not supposed to keep the law anyway. So, we're not telling them to keep the law. But we're saying like this system is so out of order, it can't continue. But they're not supposed to keep the law anyway. Make that very clear. Esau, Edom is not supposed to be keeping the laws. All right? He's Satan. All right? He's doing exactly what the fuck he's supposed to be doing. Being a devil. All right? Good.
It says, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great.
Right, and that's the situation. The Bach would be represented as the small. And the state would be the great. Right? But he's supposed to spend $500 or $299 to pay to get an attorney to say the same thing just to win. So it's a damn racket. It's a damn racket. I've seen Edomites walking there with an attorney. The attorney he don't say nothing, and the attorney just get them off. They gotta appeal it, and like okay, because the attorneys in the court and the judges got shit going on too, like a understanding to make money, Like this is a profession. We need to keep the profession pure, Can't let the outsiders in and win.
I believe last week we talked about that when we was talking about after camp when we was heading up. We talked about the whole district attorney thing. How basically, if you to be a lawyer, specifically a defense lawyer, you can't be a righteous man and be a defense lawyer, man. Because you got to defend all types of wickedness. And
prosecutor.
Yeah, prosecutor. Oh, you got to defend all types.
Yeah, the district attorney is the one that approves who they're going to prosecute, etc.
Yeah.
The DA's office.
Yeah.
And it could be an innocent man, but because he doesn't have enough money or whatever, or he might be on a bad side of whatever judge or whatever top lawyer or whoever it is, he's going to be put in jail, because he just got on the bad side of somebody that was up in power. So to be a lawyer in this society, you can't be a righteous man and try to be a lawyer, man. Especially like I said, that you defending somebody that because a lot of those criminals actually tell the truth to their lawyer to say if they actually did it or not, to see how they can actually win this case on technicalities, man.
And just so we got a fact check. It says the primary function of the district attorney or DA is to represent the government.
Yep.
It has in brackets the people or state in prosecuting criminal cases with the specific judicial district or county, making key decisions on filing charges, negotiating pleas, and presenting evidence in court to seek justice, ensure public safety, and uphold the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want you to represent yourself and win, because then you would have created a docket so that other people can use to win their cases. Another thing is,
the Bach could have went farther though. After he saw that, he just gave up because it was like, okay, I see where it's going. But he could have went further, and he might have been able to appeal it. Yeah. But was it worth it though? That's the thing.
It has to go to a higher court, and we have to repeat this process all
right,
over again.
But is it worth it?
Exactly.
So that's the conundrum that we're fucking in.
That's why a lot of people, it really doesn't come down to their
What the truth is.
they're persistent, but then it's a financial burden. A lot of people don't have the money to continue to fight that.
Yeah.
Right. Take more days off of work.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what
case,
they count on. They count on that. That's set up by design.
Showing up Tuesdays.
Because you might be adamant about it all you want and have a drive and be persistent, but if you don't have that financial support,
right. How was what's-his-face able to do it? Long Island audits.
Right.
Because of his channel and support. Exactly. He would have been fucking destroyed if he didn't have that channel and support from the community. The community. He would have been under the fucking jail.
yeah, he's been arrested a couple of times.
Yeah, in court.
Yeah.
I've seen his court cases.
Yeah.
I watched his court cases. He would have been eviscerated if he didn't have support. Money, a bunch of fucking money from the channel and from the fundraising and shit. He'd have been under the fucking jail doing 20 fucking years. getting assaulted by police officers.
The thing of it is that's a whole community,
Right.
a tight-knit community. So when one of them does get arrested and they're no longer to vocalize what they need, once the other supporters in the community find out, they'll actually start raising funds on their behalf.
Right.
We've seen
You get the AdSense and everything. Yeah.
with Chili, when he was down,
Yeah, his subscriber count went up by 300,000.
you had High Impact Flicks. He's now Here's the Deal. He has a couple other channels, but primarily Here's the Deal.
Yeah.
He was actually running his account for him and raising money.
He made him like an authorized user on his
Yeah.
channel, so he could log in and.
So again, like you were saying to your point, if you don't have that, eventually you're gonna have to fall back, and it's usually financial. It has nothing to do with willpower or nothing like that. People want to obviously win their cases and not have to be suffering these penalties, but it's a system designed to fucking bury you as much as they possibly can.
That's a pit. Yeah, and they also against you represent yourself, because that's why they created the saying, a man that represents himself as a fool for a client. Because imagine if everybody took their own self to court, studied the Constitution, and didn't need a lawyer, it'd put a crack in the system. Wouldn't be no use for lawyers.
Yeah, that's why they arrested the one Jake that won 26 cases because he was impersonating himself to be a lawyer, but he won all the fucking cases through evidence.
Right.
And when they found out he wasn't licensed, that's when they arrested his ass.
The
Man.
society's totally wicked and corrupt.
Because that's a secondary thing, because he misrepresented himself, but he still did everything legally right, but he misrepresented himself. Well, I don't know, is that even a arrestable offense? Did he sign something that said he was an attorney? I mean, I don't know. Is that if he perjured himself, I guess, or whatever that is, then that's a crime. But you can argue in court if you represent yourself. So, yeah.
I was just going to say further, this is a wicked society and totally corrupt when they don't even teach you the laws until after you've done broken the damn law, and then you learn after you got the penalty. How
But
the
they
hell?
don't teach you about money.
That's not a functional system. That's not a functional system. You deliberately keep the understanding of the way the laws work, the language. First of all, the language. The language in court is different than the language we understand it in general use.
That's why I'll be reluctant
That's
to talk
why
to
you need a
police
damn
officers.
law dictionary.
That's why you shouldn't talk to police officers.
That's exactly.
They talk different.
Police officers will even tell you not to talk to the police, and especially a good attorney will tell you. A good attorney worth his salt will tell you never talk to the police under any circumstances whatsoever. You invoke your Fifth Amendment right.
Yeah, get basic information. Like if they stop you, okay, you might have proper cause. Okay, maybe your name, your license, but don't be answering specific questions. Where I'm going, how much you had to drink.
If you're volunteering information, you're just helping them in their investigation of you.
Yep.
Right.
So, it's a corrupt society when they deliberately have a different meaning in court, these languages, these buzzwords, these terms, than they do in a general sense, and you would never know.
Harassment. That's different from what, like a colloquial term, and what it means in law. I believe it has to be followed by a threat. That's harassment, when it's a threat behind it.
Judge asks you if you understand. The term understand does not necessarily mean your ability to comprehend. You're agreeing to the court basically being above you. You stand under the court. You're giving the court legal authority to govern you, to rule you, basically.
Police ask that too. When they read your Miranda rights, like, do you understand?
Wow, that's wicked. That's wicked as hell.
So if we live in a corrupt system, because again, most people don't really know the laws until after they do something they're not supposed to do, and then you find out by penalty. That's a corrupt system.
Right. Like when you growing up, you don't learn about money, like how money works, how the system works, politics and all that. So you wholly ignorant to. You kind of know like bits and pieces, but you don't have a clear picture of how money works. If we knew about money when we were younger, we would have been a little bit better off. But this society promotes ignorance. Yep. They promote extreme financial ignorance. All right, that should be the basic thing. Like when you get to middle school, you should start learning about money, finance. Like brother said, financial literacy. You should be learning about money, about credit, the credit score, the Federal Reserve. Why it exists, what was the old system, the new system, why this is better or worse, different wars, around money, but they purposely promote ignorance. What the scriptures say, be not ignorant of anything small or great, all right? But then we'll learn about, rich people and being all in their business of what they can buy and shit. But we don't ever learn from a young age. But by the time you're older, you already fucked up your damn life. You fucked up your credit. You know, you gotta have somebody like your parent, like most of us, our parents didn't sit us down and teach us about how politics and money. Our parents didn't do. They were into fucking kung fu flicks and movies, shopping. Oh, you could go to work or go to school. One or the other. You gotta get the fuck out. Yeah, we'll go to work, go to school. Like we never learned about, okay, how much this is going to cost this much to go to school. How am I going to pay this back? Interest rates. Like what the fuck? And they actually explain that to me. But we learn that by, you know, from the financial aid person. We learn that from. We learn it from. Now we got YouTube, but we didn't have that, 20 years ago. You know, all this information we got now, like the apostles and elders, they went to fucking libraries to learn. They went to libraries to learn the different laws and to get different documents, to help aid them to survive. Now we got internet connection, everything is sped up. What scripture say about the knowledge shall increase, So each generation we get a little smarter, get a little better, so we can know. So now it's no excuse. Now is if you already fucked up, it's probably more than likely that you're not going to ever recover. So, but if you are the elect, you can recover. But I'm talking about the people in the world. If you fucked up now, you probably ain't going to recover. Yeah. So, but if you are the elect, you have a high probability of recovering if you have the proper guidance. All right. You ain't gonna become no millionaire. That's not the point. It's at least to get to a point where you can survive, or you can be a little above thriving, depending on the system you're using, and your environment and your choices, But we got Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say, "Cast our burden upon Yahweh Shai." All right, and don't be so negative. Just be positive. Everything gonna work out. All right, with the right steps and the right guidance, it's gonna work out. All right, just keep doing the same thing, same thing. And eventually you're going to be successful. And then what? The stock market going to crash. Institute the chip. This bitch is going to fucking go to hell. All right. But in the meantime, you can get your shit together somewhat. All right. But this whole system going to come to a fucking end. No doubt about that. The worm, with Isaiah 14, 11 or 12. What is it? The worm, the K. Well, you always bring that out. Some rum, something. What's the other scripture I asked for? Did I ask for another precept?
You got the other one.
And I had a precept too.
Well, that's good. We can let it pass. But but respect your persons and judgment. And that's Esau. He's all about respecting persons and judgment. Like when a rich person gets pulled over, like Ice-T. Y'all see that video? The body cam footage of Ice-T? Now he's a Jake, but he's rich. Plays a cop on TV. Was a gangster and all that. Robbing jewelry stores. And then he played a cop on TV for a long time, like 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. His paperwork wasn't right. Yep. And he should have gotten reprimanded for that. And the cop was trying to, but he said, call your supervisor. Yeah. All right, he called his fucking supervisor. Ice-T told him to call his fucking supervisor. And the supervisor set the officer straight. Yep. Now, if that was me or you, we'd been fucked. No, because his paperwork wasn't right. He was going to the DMV to fix his stuff. Yeah, but Ice-T got pissed off, and he got that down Jake B. And Esau too. But Esau have a shootout with you when he be smart too. Esau loved guns too. Esau. How many videos you can see? Esau is losing his shit, and then Esau, other Edomites' life. Esau is extremely violent. Okay. And it's this thing online about Esau, like how niggas are just violent. Man, Esau is violent as fuck. I'm telling you, man. But these Edomite racists online really try to paint the picture that Jake is just the most violent, most unruly person, and it's on earth. Like the problem is just Jake. Jake is a huge problem, but Esau commits more crimes. But Esau, they try to do the per capita argument. Like only stupid people will that don't understand the difference between per capita and the actual number. Basically they'll say per capita is you have a high percentage of so-called black males that commit crimes, but the actual number of crimes committed is so-called white males. But it's a higher percentage of black people that commit crimes. And they say, well, isn't that a problem? Yes, it's a problem, but you try to say more niggas commit crimes. But then you try to use that per capita fucking argument. It's a simple mathematics.
The crazy thing is, we can simplify it even further. Niggas is not committing global, international crime like so-called white man is. So calculate that.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's,
Blowing ships
Calculate that.
calling people
All the war
T's.
crimes.
yeah, that's
Okay.
Waters won't even come near Jake doing, you know.
Yeah, but you have a you people are crazy. I got a precept for you real quick. This is Matthew 11:11. It says, "Verily I say unto you,"
Zechariah.
and by the way, this is Yahweh Shai speaking. Matthew 11:11. "Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. And from the days of John the Baptist until